Good morning. It's Saturday, 13th of September, and I thought I'd sort of show you how I'd fit my sewing into my life. Because everybody says, how do you manage to do everything, Judi? Well, here we are. It is 20 to 9 on Saturday morning. I'm sitting in my car. I have not left home. I'm going to the hairdresser. And then I'm going to Tesco's. And then I'm going on Sew Hayley Jane. So this is how I try and get everything done. I've texted Hayley and said I might be late because I will have to pass Tesco's to get to my hairdressers and to get home from my hairdresser. So let's see what I do during the weekend. Here we go. I'm not driving. Here are my car keys. I am not driving. I am sat in my car, but I'm not driving. And I have just had my haircut. I am really, really pleased. I've got a lovely hairdresser. I don't really talk about my hair much, but this is natural. There's no colour in this at all. This is my natural hair. And I've got a really lovely hairdresser. I used to go to a lovely lady called Becca, and she's stopped cutting hair and went to work for one of the product companies, and it's the product that I use. I use Milkshake products. I know there's lots of different hair dressing and hair company products out there, but I met Becca at Slimming World. That's how I ended up with Becca. Becca closed her salon down and went to work for Milkshake, but she took me to pass me over to the lady that cuts her hair, and she's called Emma. So I booked my next hair appointment for my birthday, and then I thought, ooh, let's be very naughty. Blow dry for the day before Sophisticated, so my hair is nicely done and I don't have to worry about doing my hair first thing on the Saturday morning because I am going for the day to Sophisticated. I am very excited. I love the idea of going to Scottish Frocktails or Welsh Frocktails or Plymouth Frocktails, but working in a school and then being at the other end of the country, I just don't have the time to do it. I can't give up the time. I'd need the Friday to be able to go and stay over because it is such a long way. So now I have to go and do the shop, and I need to be quick and stop talking to you because I need to get home for Hayley. Back in a minute. I'm keeping this very, very realistic in that it is now 9:47 and I need to get home and get the food inside the house and get Hayley turned on. Off I go. I'm home from the supermarket. It is now 5 to 1. So I got home, I've done Thready Set Go, and I got engrossed in altering my dress for Sew Phoenix. Now, where is the pattern? Here it is. So this is my pattern. It's the Old Vogue 1069. It is called the Belleville Sassoon Ruffled Princess. I bought it on Etsy after having a little search through patterns many years ago because I wanted to make it again. And this is my big focus of makes at the moment. And I'm going to do some kind of makes video, but I will do it sooner or later because I have not filled up the whiteboard at the moment. So I will come, maybe look at doing that maybe next week. But this pattern is beautiful. I shall hold it up. And as you can see on the line drawings, it's got a very nipped in waist. So I've had the instructions. No, I've got back of the envelope. It's a while since I've done a video, isn't it? So I have got a size 10. There you go. And this is the days when your patterns came in one size. This is the collar. So I know the collar is fine for me. Goes around the neck. It's a little mandarin collar. Mandarin collars suit me. And the collar just comes and meets in the middle. But the buttons in it, I'm looking down, the buttons in the pattern in the dress are offset. Can you see here? They're offset to the collar. So I looked at, oh God, the sun's coming out. I looked at all the measurements and I thought, yeah, bust is fine. The waist and the hips are not. So I am afraid I have had to do some very, very comprehensive alterations. Oh, I'm not doing well with the lighting in here today. I'm sorry. Oh no, that's not working either. Oh, the sun just came out and literally blinded me. So I've just moved you around the kitchen. That's better. So I've had to do some very comprehensive alterations. So I've used the skills I have acquired over the years for pattern cutting and applied those to the pattern in order to make it fit me. Now I have done the alterations to the paper pattern. So I have started with the bodice. Now I don't need to do anything to the bust because the bust will be fine. But the waist. This is a 1983 size 10 pattern and it says it's for a 25.5-inch waist. I'm not a 25.5-inch waist. I am a 63-year-old woman. I do have a small waist, but it is not 25.5 inches. So I have altered the waist and I have made the waist the size I want it with ease. And I needed to add, I don't really want to talk sizes, but I'm going to have to. I've had to add 3 inches to the waist, which is, and I needed to put 3 inches on I needed to put 3 inches on the waist. I'm using my hands, I'm really sorry. I then had to look at how many pattern pieces I had. I don't know if you can see this. So I did a quick drawing and I have got, this is the back. So I've got 2 pieces there to add to. This is the side bodice. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here, because of the centre front, I wanted to keep where it was. And I've added on the sides, so the centre front stays the same, 7 and 8. So 3 inches is 24/8 of an inch, 24/8. I have divided that by 8, which gives me 3/8. 3/8 of an inch is a centimetre. So I've added a centimetre on to every one of those 8 seams. But I've had to take it from the bust down. So I'll show you here. Here's the back pattern piece that I've altered. So I have tapered it down here to the waist. This is round 1 of alterations. If this works, I won't need to alter it again. I'm not going to say it will work. I'm not going to say it won't work. But you need a starting point. So this is my starting point. I have a feeling I may need to alter it again. But this is a pattern that I have loved since I made it the first time round. Since I made it the first time round, I've had 2 children and gained 42 years. So I have done all the alterations on all the pieces. I've also made a very slight alteration to the sleeves and given myself a little bit more ease because I felt as if I would like a little bit more ease in my sleeves. So I've had to alter the sleeve head as well. I knew this pattern would not fit me, but I wasn't going to go back and try and get maybe a bigger size and then have to take it down. I thought I'll work with what I've got. So I ordered myself a lovely new roll of Swedish tracing paper and a pencil sharpener because my electric pencil sharpener had broken. So that's what I've been working on so far. So the skirt pieces have also needed to be altered because I checked the hip measurements and I checked how much had been allowed for gathering to fit into the hips and the waist, and there was not enough. So taking my waist measurement and the hip measurement and where I would like it to be, I have added to each of the skirt panels. There are 5 skirt panels. You cut 3 for the front of the front one, you cut 2 of the back. I wanted to add 30 centimetres and it was terribly easy. 30 centimetres divided by 5 is 6. So I added in 6. So I have distributed that all the way through. It is very essential that when you know how much you are adding to a pattern, you add it equally all the way around. And as I say, for both of them, I drew a rough sketch of the pattern pieces and I added to them. And I added to the skirts by opening it up this way and then tapering in the curve at the bottom and at the waist. Showing you how to alter a pattern is actually quite complicated, and at the moment I don't feel confident enough on my YouTube channel to be doing that. I'm quite happy to tell you what I've done, but to actually physically show you doing it, I'm a bit nervous. So I might film myself altering the last skirt piece this afternoon, but rest assured I have done them. They're all here in front of me. Let's say I do not have to alter the ruffles. These are the ruffle pieces. I do not have to alter the collar because I've not altered the neck, but the bodice pieces have all been altered. And now I do need to do some housework, unfortunately. These things do need doing. Visitor is here. Where are we going, G? So far we haven't done much at all today. We've been playing with George.
And the caterpillar.
And the caterpillar. Done a lot, no more sewing, but I have done some cleaning. So now we are going to go and get out George's chariot, which is the three-wheeled cross-country buggy, and take the gruesome twosome for a little bit of a walk. But this is what happens, folks, when you try and fit your sewing in around life. You have to let other bits of life go with you. George, what have you got there? You're going to give it. What's this doing on the floor here? There's a police car down there. I mean, seriously. Police car from Morrison's. Other supermarkets are available. Right. We're doing well with that as well. So off we go. I've just got to show you this. That's a happy dog. He's absolutely filthy and it's been in there. If this one went in, she'd be in for 40 minutes. And she's now going for a drink. I'm not doing very well at doing this daily vlogging at the weekend because I'm at Castle Howard now. So I didn't even vlog at home, but guess who's here? Hi. Grace is here! She's come to see me! And she's going around Castle Howard. And here's her husband. And there's Poppy Dog. Of course, Poppy Dogs are allowed at Castle Howard.
Of course.
Because Mrs. Howard's dog is called Poppy.
Oh, right. Okay. That's fantastic information.
Yeah, you might see a grey lurcher around. But, oh my gosh, the peacocks are out. I'm going to turn you around because the peacocks are on the... Peacocks are out on the lawn, yes. Straight over there.
Yes.
Straight over. There's a white peacock around as well, Grace, but it's an absolutely beautiful...
It's a beautiful morning.
Absolutely beautiful morning here in Yorkshire.
I can't believe we drove past this many years and have not stopped.
Oh, well, it's because you're lucky you can get in today.
Yeah, thank you, Judi.
Hello. I have done absolutely hopeless today, haven't I, on this vlogging vlog. I'm just home from Castle Howard. Just to prove I'm not driving, here are my keys. So I've parked up at home and I thought, just when it rains, I'll just say hello and tell you what I need to do next. So one of the reasons I do Castle Howard is just to break up my life and not to be totally dominated by walking dogs and sewing. And it's just to add something else into my life where I meet people that are my age. So I'm not always walking around children and it's meeting other people. So it's been absolutely fantastic for that. And I think when you live on your own, it's really important that you have other outlets other than your family and your work. So for me, it's been absolutely fantastic. But they have let me home early today because today is actually the anniversary of me losing David to the day because he died on a Sunday. And it was just wonderful for Grace to be at Castle Howard today. And she knew what today was. And she and Barry, her husband, just absolutely wonderful. And my special friend Christine up there and the VAs, everyone's just been fantastic. So now I'm going to go inside and I'm going to start to get my dinner ready for the week, which I have to do. I mean, I'm being realistic and, you know, this is how I get things in. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to put some pasta on to boil, chop some vegetables, and then I've got about half an hour where I can do some sewing. And I'm going to try and get the top to my dress toiled. I've got everything crossed. I haven't traced off the final skirt piece yet, but I will do that. But I really want to get that top toiled because once that's done, I can then get sewing. So let's go inside and let's go. Oh, I was going to tell you what else is happening today. Hannah and Michael are coming down and we're going to go out for Sunday dinner together, which will be wonderful because I know where we're going. So there you go. That's what happens when you try and fit things in a weekend. I have failed today. Today is a day I knew I would fail. I've had a lovely day, and sometimes you have to remember that as much as you want to sew, sometimes you need to give to your family and things just have to wait. And that's what it's been like today. But, you know, I have to work. I don't complain that I do complain at times that I've got to work, but I do have to work, but I do everything else. And I'm proud of the fact that I do everything that I need to do. So I'm going to go through and edit what I've done so far in the knowledge that my house is clean, my washing is done, my lunch is ready, my breakfast is ready, and my washing and ironing is done. I might not have got this done, But everything I need to do to function for work, which is important, has been done. I think I'm failing abysmally at the moment as a vlogger. I cannot get the lighting right, but I'm wanting to do a little bit of, oh, that's better. I'm wanting to do a little bit more realistic vlogging, because how many of you want to do sewing or any hobby, but time is against you? And that's how I feel at the moment. So this started out as a bit of a weekend vlogger thingy, and we're now at 9:20 on the Monday evening, and I thought I'm going to keep going. I haven't got any fancy lighting rig up, but I have got my lights mended in my ceiling. I had 6 ceiling lights and they'd all gone down. I only had 2. Now I have 6 again. They have all been mended and it's absolutely fantastic. But I'm going to tip the camera down. It's gone dark again. I don't know what's up with this camera. I am here. I'm wearing a blue top. I'm wearing my Rissac because I love it. And I keep going backwards and forwards and around the kitchen and it doesn't want to play. Let's try it here. Oh, it's a bit better. Something's cooling off in the oven there, so just ignore that. So it doesn't. There's Maggie. She's in the doghouse. She is the reason why I have not done much tonight, because she went AWOL on the beck tonight. She decided that she was going to go off for a nice little jaunt on her own. She didn't actually give me a by your word, did she? No. She could smell something nice in the fields that needed to be investigated. Partridges. And off she went. So I am now doing my toile. Now I have found some fabric that I really don't like. I've had it in my stash for ages. And it's actually, wait for this, it's actually an viscose. So, and I like to toile in a calico or a light cream colour if I can, but I like a plain because then you can see your lines and everything. So I don't normally, I had a pen here, and I've managed to catch every single light and button on the back of this camera again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my tailor's tacks through my tissue paper, and I am going to try and get this done. Because the daft thing is, the minute I have done the toile, I can actually make up the garment. And once I've got the toile fitted, I'm actually sat here feeling very positive. But this toile is going to fit the first time, I've decided. If it decides it's not going to, I might just sack it. This is the way I feel today, folks. I'm in a bit of a flippant mood. So, and I think if I check my emails, I might find that my pink door box has been dispatched, because it's Monday the 15th, and the 15th is usually pink door box dispatch day. So I'm very excited about that. So I've had a bit of a delayed evening, but I've done lots of other things as well, things that I need to do. And because my dogs have been down the beck, they've made the house dirty again, so I've had to clean it again. Oh, don't you just love animals? Don't you just love them? Now let me just see if this is going to work. So I'm going to cheat on this. I'm actually going to mark my tailor's tacks with a biro. This is a toile, so it doesn't matter. But you do need to have, when you're doing your toile, you need to have everything on, just as it would be as if it's your garment. So off we go. So the other thing I will need to put on is the centre back. So I'm going to mark that at the bottom here. I'm going to mark it at the top here. I will have to put on all my notches, and I can see where I've added at the side. When you make up your toile, and I'm sorry if I'm telling you something you already know, but you make it up and actually you put all the seams. So your right side is technically your wrong side. And the idea is that if your darts are all on the outside, you can nip them in a bit and you can nip up your shoulders. Let me just lift it up. You can see. So if you're doing a dart, it's not very good with navy, is it? But if you had your piece of pattern here, this is a sleeve, and you wanted to pull it in, you pull it in on this side. Or if you wanted to pull in your sleeve seams, if your sleeve was on the outside, you can actually tack it in or pin in your alterations. So that is the reason why. So I am going to go on and I am going to cut this out. I'm not measuring the grain. I know I'm a big grain measurer, but on this one I have not measured the grain, and the reason for that is I am just eyeing it up as quickly as I possibly can so that I can actually try and get this made, because I think there's a lot of excitement in my sewing at the moment. Personal to me, simply because I want to get this thing made, because I am actually very, very excited about making it. Also very excited about Sophisticated, but also very excited to get this made for the challenge that's being run, that I'm making it for. And it's being made at the expense of everything else I could be making. And sometimes I think when you're sewing, it's all very well to have a big plan of lots of things you want to make, but sometimes it's nice to focus on one thing and nothing else. So I spoke to you 40 minutes ago, and it's amazing when you are short of time and you just dedicate those few minutes to your sewing. Didn't come at an angle. Anyway, I've got all the toile pieces cut out and I have started to put together. So I have altered both this, which is the left front, and the side bodice. Both of those have been altered, and there has been extra added at the waist. Now the bust seemed to be absolutely perfect, but I may have to alter that as well. Time will tell. So I thought I'd start with the waist alterations, and then if I need to do bust alterations, I will do those as well. But I've also left on the facing, but I've also drawn in here. Can you see the centre front seam? Evening guys, hello. Tuesday the 16th of September, and I'm hopefully going to get my toile made tonight, and then, just taking this off, because it's run night, I'm really lucky. I get to go to school in full PE kit, ready for running. But it's a bit chilly tonight. Sorry, I'm going out of focus here. I am going for my little runlet. I might even get the camera out while I'm running. It's going to be a slow run. My route is 5k, and if I can run 4.5 of that, I'll be really, really happy. But I've got to slow the girls down. The reason being, getting back into the swing of running with, I think it's been a combination of the heat that we've had this year and then the leg injury, which didn't help. So I'm just going really slowly and building up my distances and my stamina. I feel like I'm doing really, really well, because I think just being able to get out and get, I think for me it's more a question of getting the heart rate moving. I'm fairly active anyway with work, because it's the job I do isn't a job for sitting down, it's a job for weightlifting and moving things, I think. So it's good for me there. But yeah, so I want to get the toile of my bodice done, and then I'm going to edit the rest of the video during the Sewing Bee final. Okay, you're shouting at me going, shouldn't you be watching the Sewing Bee final and paying attention? Yes, I should. But it's the only way I can get everything done. I'm just going to pause the running because these two have decided that they need to stop. And this is what I'm getting. I mean, how am I meant to try and run 5k? So I'm going to do a bit of walking if I can get these girls to move. And then we'll start running again in a minute. But my son has been really good at coaching me and saying, you know, Mum, don't worry if you can't run the whole 5k. You know how long the route is, and you can always do a bit of walking and let these two do a bit of sniffing. So if I can get them to run, oh no. It's their run too, it's their walk too, and I will get home soon. I'm just enjoying this beautiful, beautiful autumn evening. It's absolutely glorious here. Absolutely glorious. Just totally glorious. Can I go now, young lady? Can we run again? I don't think so. I'll just let her finish. I've just made this up and put it on. and I forgot to take a picture of myself, but I was so chuffed. I've actually run a friend and said, look, it's worked. But these are the marks I've tried to make to show where my shoulder needs to be. So the bottom of my shoulder comes to here. So I've got about 2.5 centimetres that I need to bring. This seam needs to come up to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that seam up to here and try and come back to you with the mock-up on in a little while. So what I need to do is I need to draw on the new line for stitching the sleeve. So this is the front, and I am doing the sleeve just on the right hand side, but when I have done this I will need to make certain I do the same alteration to the left hand side. I will cover that in the next video, but for now what I need to do is, if this is the point of the end of my bottom of my shoulder, and it is that little knobble in your shoulder that you're looking for, I am going to take my French curve, and this is the top of the seam down here. This is where the 5/8 of an inch or 1.5 centimetre seam comes down, up. The side seam is, it comes in, so it needs to come down 1.5 centimetres or 5/8 of an inch. And you take your curve and you join the two together. Now, I might need to give it, I can't give it a middle curve there. I could give it a bit of a sleevish curve here. So I'm just going to draw on. And yes, are you going to ask me if this is guessing? Yes, it is a bit of guesswork. But if I get the guesswork right, I'll get it perfect the first time. And that's what I want to do, because where the waist has been altered, it's absolutely spot on. I couldn't be happier with my waist alteration. So that must have been, I've gone slightly out here. What's better is if you have a flexi curve, and I haven't got a flexi curve to hand. So that is the front line, and what I should do now is to cut away, but I can't do the same to the back because the back is a different size. The back sleeve is straighter, as you can see. There's not quite a big dip in it. And I'm going to do the same here on the back to here. I'm going to draw the same line in. And I think I will be able to use, aha, this will probably do. And what I'm doing is using my curve to give me that shape that I need. This is how I was taught when I refreshed my pattern cutting skills a little while ago. This is what the lady advised us to do. And as you can see there, I've got that curve of the sleeve in. So now I'm going to cut that off, put the sleeve back in and try it. So here we go. Please excuse the kitchen backdrop. And it's most unlike me, I'm modelling my toile because I am so pleased with the result. I am going to apologise again. My camera is going up, lighting is going in and out as I'm talking, and I don't know if it's going to change when you see it, but I'm going to come up a bit closer. So you can see here, this is the top of my shoulder. There's the end of the shoulder blade here, and there's like a little knobble in there. And that's where the top of your sleeve should come to. And I now have the sleeve at this point, and it's sitting in nicely here. Please don't look at that. That's a pucker because I did not gather the sleeve enough. But across here is absolutely fine. Down here, across the front, let me just see if I can zoom in a bit, is I've tried to centre, I've actually not got it, I've not done it up properly down the front as per the design. So the design is that the right comes over the left and the button placket would fit just down here. But what I've done for fitting purposes is I've matched the centre front to the centre front. So this is the centre front line here. Now when I did the measurements from the original pattern, I took the original measurement for the bust and then I worked out how much ease there was, and I wrote that down in my book. And as for the waist, I did the same, and I took the waist size that they had I worked out how much ease they'd allowed, and then I added on what I believed I needed for my age and my current size, and I have got it correct. And as I said earlier on, it was 3 inches that I added in, and I had 8 sides to add the additional ease into the garment. For the pieces that I had a side here on the bodice, 2 bits on the side bodice, and 1 on the back bodice, and it came to 8 pieces. That was 24/8 of an inch over 3 inches. That made 3/8 of an inch per seam. 3/8 of an inch is a centimetre. So I am going to say goodbye and thank you for sticking with me in what I have no idea how long this vlog is going to be, but I have thoroughly enjoyed altering this pattern to make it fit. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I know this is going to sound mad, and some of you are going to say, I couldn't be doing with it all, Judi, you're absolutely bonkers. But the one thing I haven't shown you is how to transfer this sleeve alteration from the fabric to the paper pattern. That will come in the next vlog, not the next vlog, the one after, because the Beyond the Pink Door box is on the way. So there will be an unboxing shortly after this video. So I'm going to say thank you so much for everybody's comments. I know I am behind. I haven't been here because I've had my anniversaries to deal with. It's just my life. But I wanted to do a vlog that showed the realistic side of vlogging and fitting it into your life and fitting in your sewing. So I have been sewing for just over an hour now. I was so excited with this. I rang my friend and Liz, and we've chatted through it and chatted through the sleeve. And if you'd have seen the sleeve the first time, it was right down here. And I thought, it's definitely in the wrong place. I've got to move it. And I've actually moved that up by 2.5 centimetres. So it's a long way, but I did it by, as you saw me doing at the time, I actually put on where the shoulder, end of the shoulder was. And here I've actually marked on where my nipples would be, simply to make certain that the princess line seams fell roughly over the top, and they do. And I've got so much ease across here. I am so pleased. And bearing in mind that when I was, how old was I? 22 when I made this. My chest is exactly the same size, and I've had 2 children. I can't believe that. I don't know what to say to that. I'll put the picture in again of me. I won't put the picture in again of me wearing the dress, but here you go. This is it. Next stop is getting on with cutting it out. Oh, and the other thing is, the collar is great. So, from a very excited running so-and-so, I will see you again later in the week. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining me. If you've not already subscribed, it'd be great to have you on board. Don't forget to give me a like, send me a comment, and I'll see you all again very soon. Lots of love. Bye-bye.